What's up, everybody? It's episode 129 of Hoops Talk with Dave's Joint. Shout outs to everybody that's been supporting us thus far. For those who haven't seen any of our episodes as of late, go check us out on our YouTube page, Dave's Joint, and all of our social media sites. Dave's Joint on Instagram, Dave's Joint on Facebook, and Dave's Joint on Twitter. We've been away for a while, due to a lot of events taking place, as of late. New York City basketball is back, and basketball everywhere is back. Shouts to the Milwaukee Bucks for winning the Game 6 of the NBA Finals last night. But yeah. So without further ado, we have a very special guest tonight. He is the founder of that hat that you see right there atop his head, the Hoops Showdown. This is one of the most spectacular events that New York City has ever seen. And tonight we have with us Mr. Johnny Rodriguez. Johnny, thank you for coming on to share your testimony, man.
What's up, Dave? Appreciate you having me on, man. It's good to hear your voice again, man. It's been a minute.
Indeed, likewise, man. So let's get started. What's when did basketball first begin for you?
In middle school, so around, I would say around sixth, seventh grade is when I really started to take the game seriously. Um, Friends of mine, who I'm sure you know his name, Michael Glover.
Okay.
Yeah, and Andre Hanna. I went to middle school with them, and it was always my gym class versus his gym class. And obviously, those two guys, were very good since young. And I loved competing against them. I got to play with them a few times, but I mainly loved competing, and we beat them a few times. And like that's when I really realized that, I can do something with this. As of right now, I can play. So that's where it started for me, sixth, seventh grade. And then, like obviously, I graduated, went to high school, and I played high school ball. But that's where my love began, in middle school.
Mm. So, what part of the Bronx are you from? You know what I'm saying? What's the basketball culture like in the Bronx overall?
I'm from the south side of the Bronx, like the Hunts Point area, Southern Boulevard, Simpson Street to be exactly, is where I'm from. Born and raised there, 163rd Street. The basketball culture in the Bronx is big. That whole 163rd strip. There's a few basketball courts there. Obviously Hunts Point got their basketball courts, and we used to play block versus block. Sometimes we used to mix teams up, but mainly block versus block was like our hood championship. You know what I'm saying? Outside
Right.
of
Yeah.
tournaments, you know what I'm saying? Like you took pride in going to someone else's block and beating them, or just even competing. That was our, besides the summer tournaments that we participated in, us just going to other parks was, that was our championship. The best in the avenue is what we used to call it.
Nah, that's big right there, man. Now, where did you play high school ball at?
So I went to Alfred E. Smith High School, near Third Avenue. It was on Cortland Ave
Yeah.
to be exact. So that's where I played high school. I played all 4 years, and that was a hell of an experience, man. I got to play against Dwight Hardy, who eventually went to St. John's, and has been playing pro ball uh, since I could remember. There was a gentleman from the Bronx that went to Pitt. Can't remember his name right now, but there was a bunch of talent in the Bronx at that time, and I was fortunate to compete against those guys playing for Smith High School all 4 years.
So yes, what year did you graduate?
06. 06
Yeah.
was my graduation day.
I figured that. Shout outs to the Alfred E. Smith graduating class of 2006. That was a good year. I graduated from 8th grade that year.
Yeah, I'm a little older than some, but younger than a lot in the basketball world.
Right. Nah, man. 2006 was a great year. So
yeah, man.
Let's fast forward to, the future. When did you start Hoops Showdown and why?
So after I graduated high school, I took some time off. I didn't go to college, and I was playing in some adult leagues, just regular runs. and staying in shape, having fun. Not that I was trying to make something out of it, because I wasn't that good, to be honest, to make to play pro level anywhere. But my love for the game never changed, and attending tournaments like Hoops in the Sun, Watson Classic, Dykeman basketball, of course, attending those events, I wanted to transition my love for the game to something where, I can do my own thing instead of playing in someone's tournament or playing in someone's adult league. I can do my own thing. So, I've spoke to a few guys that I call my mentors about it. And they were like, one thing that stood out to me that both of them said was, you won't know unless you try, and you don't want 10 years to pass and then you think back like, shit, I should have just taken the chance, because now it's too late to do so. And that's what I did. I being that I was still, even though I didn't play any pro ball, I was still involved with a lot of basketball. A lot of guys that I played in my class, my graduating class, like I said, like Dwight Hardy and those guys, I was still in network with them and still in contact with them. So I started Hoops Showdown, and when I first started it, it was unlimited. It was overseas guys, stuff like that. And then my goal was always to bring it back to high school. I shouldn't say bring it back. My goal was always to go from unlimited to cut unlimited out and go to high school, but I needed to start somewhere. And the easiest way to start for me was unlimited, because those guys were my peers. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started that. And then, a few events later, we had it in Harlem, which was our first outdoor event. And then, eventually we got to the high school tournament.
Nah, man, I remember those days. Well, I never did get to see Hoops Showdown. Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, the one time I probably saw the Unlimited Hoops Showdown was when you guys were on the east side of Harlem. Yeah.
Yep. That's when we had Abby playing, Jesse Sapp, T2 played, a bunch of players that my mind, I can't even remember right now. It was so long ago, but those like I said, it was easier for me to start this by doing unlimited, because those guys were my peers. Those guys I can call anytime, any day, and they're picking up.
Yeah, man.
But yeah.
So, when did you decide to what year exactly did Hoop Showdown start?
Hoop Showdown started, we're in 2021, I believe 2015.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was 15 that I started it.
Right. So
all these years seem like a blur. I don't even remember.
Right. Now, moving forward, when did you decide to do high school? When did that start?
That started, excuse me, about 4 years ago. Like I said, it was always a goal of mine to get to the high school level, because I felt like it was just a more exciting division. Like the high school division, those kids weren't too cool. You get what I'm saying? Like Unlimited was starting to feel like it wasn't fun to me to put together and to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Glasses, which is Christopher Salgado.
Shout out to Glasses.
Shout out to Glasses. He went to school with my brother, and so we already had that relationship. And one day we just sat down and was like, "Yo, let's just do this high school thing, man. Let's give it a shot." I'm sure with my connections, with your connections, we can build something here. So Glasses he's a participant of Hoop Showdown, but he's also my partner in this. He's been there from day one, helping me put it together. I've been helping him on his end with Bronx River, so it was a partnership that organically was built, and that's where high school Hoop Showdown started, in Bronx River Community Center.
So yeah, let's talk about the environment that is the Bronx River Community Center.
So yeah, Bronx River Community Center. I mean, the area in general is not too far from me. That's where Michael Glover, Ant Glover, Andre Hanna, and those ball players are from. So I frequent the area when I was in middle school and high school because of those guys. But it's a high crime rate. It's it's not a pretty place to live in, unfortunately. But the people there, if there's one thing that they have in common is that they love the game of basketball. And it's funny that Andre Hanna, his little brother, his name is Pop. It's crazy how the world works. I went to school with Andre, and Pop played in high school Hoops Showdown and actually won co-MVP with of the underclassmen game. But it's funny. So the point I was trying to make was Andre, I remember after one event, he grabbed me. He was like, "I'm gonna call you the Crime Stopper. I'm gonna call you the Crime Stopper." And I was like, "What you talking about?" He was like, "Listen, you know what's this area about. But whenever you have high school Hoop Showdown, everyone comes together and there's nothing happens. No, no one gets harmed. There's no robberies. There's no crime at all. Whenever there's a Hoop Showdown event, Bronx River stops and shows love." And that kind of touched me. You know what I'm saying? Because even if it's only 6 hours out of the day, at least I made some kind of impact in the community.
Facts, man. Nah, that's big. I've only heard one other person in life ever being called the Crime Stopper, Akil Carr. But to hear, but to hear that that basically your event stopped things from happening in the community. That to me is big. That's big right there, man.
Yeah, man. That it didn't really hit me till I got home that Hoop Showdown makes that kind of impact in the community, and I was just like, wow. I mean, it's not much. It's a small drop in the bucket, but 6 hours of crime free is 6 hours.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's talk about some of the names that played in the high school Hoop Showdown.
So we've had probably over 120 student athletes that played in Hoop Showdown go on to play Division I college. We've got, I will probably say, a handful of pros. Naz Reid is probably the most notable name. Tremont Waters. There's a few of them. Elijah Hughes. Elijah Pemberton as well. I know he was on the Warriors G League roster. I'm trying to remember who else. Luke King. He was on the Detroit Pistons, I believe. Mm-hmm. There's a few of them,
Nick Richards is one of them.
Yeah, Nick Richards. But it's pretty dope to see them, participate in Hoop Showdown and come out and play the game, participate in my event and show love, and then see them at the next level. And even if they're playing in Division I college, like, that's success in itself, because you yourself as a college graduate, that tuition can be stifling and change your life path. But through basketball, they were able to play college basketball and get a scholarship for a free degree. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hey, that's big, man. And yeah, that's true. Cause I'm in debt up to, I want to say, $60K right now for college. So I know what it means to have to pay back student loans. So
Yep. And these kids are fortunate enough to go to college for free through the game of basketball.
Yeah. So a lot of people just wasn't fortunate.
I'm sorry, I forgot her name. Bryce Wills, played for Stanford. He's a hell of a kid, man. From what I understand, he does it both, books and grades. So, salute to him.
Yeah, man. Now, so let's talk about, what's your favorite moment ever at Hoop Showdown?
Jordan Walker's game winner over Nick Richards. Yep, Jordan Walker, he Cha-Ching called the game perfectly. Well, I should say he called that play perfectly. Jordan Walker was on fire that game, hitting shots from all over the floor. He just walked the ball up, drove baseline. He drove hard left, step back. Nick Richards still contested because he's a footer. He's 7 feet. He's still going to be able to contest it.
Right.
And as the buzzer rang, the shot went in. The crowd rushed Jordan Walker, pretty much damn near carried him. It was a crazy, crazy moment, man. Like that's my favorite moment of Hoop Showdown. My second favorite, I know you didn't ask for my second favorite one, but
no, go ahead. It's your show.
Saquon Singleton, point guard.
Oh yeah.
That was so. You know what? The guy that jumped with him, I can't remember his name. He played at LSU, and I think he touched the league too. Oh wow, I can't remember his name right now. But
Andre Hyatt?
Saquon, no.
Nah, but yeah, it's all right. You could because of what happened. The kid can remain nameless. But go on.
I mean, he took. What's crazy is that the defender jumped higher than him. He just missed it by this much, and that Saquon dunked on him, and that clip was all over like NBC, Bleacher Report, Slam even posted it. Like that was the first time Hoop Showdown, and that was the first year I did high school Hoop Showdown. So for the first year, for it to go viral that way, it was pretty crazy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, man. Man, that's to have. Like, how did it feel to have these major publications, show highlights of your event?
It was crazy, man. It's because at first, I'm still new to the game, so when they were posting it and not tagging Hoop Showdown or even tagging me, I didn't take it anyway because I didn't know any better. But I had people hitting me up like, "Yo, find out who's behind these accounts or reach out to them and tell them like to tag you because this is promotion that you're missing out on for the brand, for the tournament." So, I was able to, thankfully, I know so many people that somebody knows somebody, and CBS ended up tagging me. Bleacher Report ended up tagging me. There was another publication, a media outlet, I should say, that posted it. They ended up tagging me. So it worked out fine, but it was surreal, man. Like, I couldn't believe it. You grow up watching, Bleacher Report is fairly new, but, everyone knows Bleacher Report. We grew up watching CBS Sports,
right?
So to see my event, showcased on these media outlets, it was pretty dope, man.
Nah, no doubt, man. That to me, that was big too. And you've had a lot of people come out to your event, including Taylor Rooks, Ravie B. Shout out to Ravie B. She's a great photographer.
So I don't know if you guys know, but Ravie B, she shot the first 2 Hoop Showdowns ever. Because she's a personal friend of mine. So, like, I know she's like a celebrity now, but I've known her for years and years and years. So yeah, she shot the first 2 Hoop Showdown events.
Yeah, man, that's big right there. And just to have Taylor Rooks from I want to say she's not with ESPN, right?
I know she was working with Bleacher Report. I'm not sure where she is now, to be honest.
Yeah, but nah, she is a big deal though. But to have people of that stature there. Oh yeah, she is with Bleacher Report. It's with Bleacher Report and Turner Sports. So yeah, just to have somebody of her stature around is big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
Pretty soon
she actually had a podcast. She was on someone's podcast and they had asked her what she did, in the past weekend, and she was like, "Oh, I went to this basketball tournament in the Bronx called Hoop Showdown. I've never even been to the Bronx before."
Wow.
So she name dropped it on the podcast, which was, Taylor Rooks is a big name. So for her to mention it, it was pretty dope.
Shout outs to Taylor Rooks. Taylor, if you ever see this, definitely show love to the podcast, but don't forget, we definitely showed you love on here. Nah. But yeah, so and one matchup in particular that I love, that I'm thinking people will always remember, other than the other 2, and you probably already know which one I'm referring to. Dior versus Juju.
That was crazy, man, and that was brewing for, I want to say, probably 2 weeks before the event. Just because, New York City at the time was Juju's town. It was Juju's town, as far as like street basketball goes. And then, Dior was away at school, but still aware of what was going on in New York City. And, there was talking back and forth on Instagram. And, obviously they weren't going to be on the same team. So eventually they were going to match up. And that was crazy to see live, man. They were literally going basket for basket. And it was just, I can't even explain. Like, you had to be there to witness the matchup that went down between Juju and Dior that day. It was crazy.
Nah, man, that's probably the matchup that I will forever remember.
What was the second one that you was gonna mention?
No, that
the
was
second favorite matchup.
No, that was the one. That was the one matchup I remembered. Other than, like, that's what I'm saying. The one that was probably the most prominent to me, aside from the other two. The other two were great, but the one I just mentioned, that sticks out to me forever.
I think the other matchup that was pretty cool was Jordan Walker versus Jalen Naismith.
Oh,
they
I
went
forgot
basket
about
for
that.
basket.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Cool.
Yeah, that was so long ago.
Yeah, but definitely Juju versus Dior was that's probably the best matchup so far in Hoop Showdown history.
Yeah, man. Now, COVID happened last year. Talk about, not being able to have, Hoop Showdown. How much did that affect you?
It affected me because I felt like, the student athletes in the tri-state area, they look forward to Hoop Showdown, whether it's participating in it or just attending. Like, I felt like, not that I let them down, because, I'm sure they will find other activities to do, but my event was something that they looked forward to every spring, summer, you know what I'm saying? So to not be able to have one, it was just like, damn, man, I wish I could do this for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I could host this event. And, it sucked. And like, it kind of put me in a place where I didn't know if I wanted to continue doing Hoop Showdown, because, I started feeling like, so we live in an era where, what have you done? It's like, kind of like, what have you done for me lately?
It's all about basically what you've done, what you're currently doing, what you've done. You know what I'm saying? And nobody, people forget things real fast. Like that.
So it's like, for example, like the music, and a mixtape comes out Monday, by Wednesday we're listening to something else. You know what I'm saying? So I started to feel, not that I seen or heard anyone say anything about Hoop Showdown, but internally myself, I started to feel like 2 years have passed. Well, this will make the second year that, we haven't had an event. I mean, we're having one, but it's been 2019 was the last one we had. So during that time period, I started feeling like, will people still come out to Hoop Showdown? Like, do people even remember what Hoop Showdown was? Because it's just been so long. And like I said, we live in an age where if you're not putting out product, if you're not putting out content, then someone else will, and you'll be memories. That's all you will be. So I started to feel like, maybe my time is up. Maybe, I did what I could. Let me just wash my hands and just fall back. But, my peers, my mentors, even, former players of Hoop Showdown and even current players, them messaging me like, yo, when is Hoop Showdown? When is Hoop Showdown? It kind of like, it lit the fire in me again.
Yeah.
So, and I called Glasses. I was like, yo, listen, I wasn't going to do it, but we got to do it. And, that's when COVID restrictions started lifting a little bit, like Hoops in the Sun, Dykeman, and all the other tournaments starting announcing that they were coming back. So like, it was like, all right, now I don't have no excuse. You know, everyone is playing, so we got to play too. And you know, that's when me and Glasses got on the phone, got in the lab, and we, you know, made it happen.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this year it will be Saturday, July 31st at Parque de los Ninos Playground, otherwise known as the site of the Watson Basketball Classic. So my very first question for you on this is, what made you transition from Bronx River to the Parque?
Well, a few reasons. The main reason is because when we started planning it, the COVID restrictions weren't so clear yet. You know, like there were, like, you know, the city was kind of saying like, you can participate, but you still have to remain 6 feet away, you know, and stuff like that. So Bronx River was out of the question because there's no way we're going to be able. I mean, you've been in the gym, you've known that we
Yeah.
packed that gym
Mm-hmm.
out over capacity, you know, so there was no way we can keep people 6 feet away from each other. So that was one reason. The second reason was, you know, Glasses is heavily involved in the Watson Basketball Classic now. So as we were discussing this, he was like, yo, let's just do it in Watson Park. And, you know, like, it made perfect sense because, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, there was no way we're going to be able to distance people in Bronx River
Right.
Community Center.
There's no
You
way.
know, at least Watson Park is bigger. There's more space. You know, not everyone's not on top of each other. You know, it's open air, so you know we're not breathing each other's. You know, like we're not breathing the same oxygen. You know, so
Mm-hmm.
that's what made me try it. And you know, the entire Watson Classic family, Chris, Lee, Lily, I'm sure I'm missing some names, but they were all welcome me with open arms to host the event there. So that made me feel more confident in doing it there.
Yeah, man. No, that's big. Shout outs to the Watson family. You know what I'm saying? Good folks over there, man. And
For
honestly,
sure.
I will say, Johnny, it was time that it transitioned outdoors because of everything that you just talked about. Bronx River. I mean, as much as I love the gym, you know what I'm saying? It was just, I felt like it was not enough for the amount of people that would come out. At least with the park, like you said, open air, and it's a lot more space. So you know what I mean? You guys, I'm sure with the way this event has always been, you can pack out the park with no problem, and people won't be on the court neither.
That's the goal, man. That's the goal. I hope everyone comes out for July 31st. You know, it's been a while since we had an event, so I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of things and seeing everyone's face again.
Now you have 4 teams, you know what I'm saying? One of which I'm the sponsor of, but we'll get
Yes.
that. So let's talk about, you know, who the 4 teams are, their actual the actual teams that they go by.
Yeah, right. So we have the Brooklyn Stompers, which is a team that I've been trying to get involved for a few tournaments now, but schedules don't always match up. You know, they're also in Brooklyn, so you know, to travel to the Bronx is, you know, it's a pretty trip. But I was able to get Coach Ronnie and Brooklyn Stompers in this year, and you know, another team obviously is Road to Riches B5 Elite, which is coached by Glasses. You know, my partner in this, and they will always have a team at Hoops Showdown until Glasses decides not to anymore. That's the second team. The third team is the Nation. The Nation has been participating in a few tournaments, you know, last year and this year. They feature Darrell Wright, Maurice Odom, you know, those young studs. And then the last team is Debo's All Stars. So you know, I'm looking forward to seeing what Debo brings, because I've been seeing him and Glasses go at it, not only in tournaments but on social media. So that's gonna be fun
Yeah,
to see, man.
facts, man. I'm looking forward to it. And shout outs to the other 3 sponsors, Hype Kills, All Things Hoops, and NJ Hoop Recruit. May the best team and sponsor win.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. And you know, obviously the tournament cost a pretty penny to put together. You know, no one works for free. You know, I got
Exactly.
DJs, I got photographers, videographers, I got staff. So, I appreciate you, Dave, for being a sponsor,
Of
because
course.
it helps cover the expenses of putting together a big event like this,
Nah,
So,
man. Like, I
I
really,
really thank.
thank you for having me, giving me the opportunity to actually be a sponsor, because this is something that I always wanted to do. And, why not at an event like Hoop Showdown that I personally love very much? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. When you reached out to me, I told you, Dave, you've been a day one supporter from as soon as like the very first Hoop Showdown event, you was there, So the high school Hoop Showdown event, I should say, you were there. So, like you support me, I support you, So that was an easy decision.
facts. Nah, but yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. Um, so my so this is one of the questions that I love to ask before I lead to the final question. If you could go back to 2015, what would you tell a younger Johnny as he's starting Hoop Showdown?
Starting Hoop Showdown, I will probably treat it more like a business and not a hobby. When I say that is because when I started Hoop Showdown, I didn't have my name. I didn't have Hoop Showdown trademarked. I didn't have it as a nonprofit organization. I didn't have any paperwork. Someone could have just came along and stole the name and ran with it. I started learning about that when I was reaching out to sponsors, and they were like, "All right, well, can you send us your tax ID?" And I was like, "Huh? What is that?" So I picked up a lot of stuff I've learned on the fly. I didn't have someone to sit down and tell me like, all right, you need to trademark, you need to LLC this, you need to nonprofit this. I kind of just learned by businesses turning me down and saying this is why, because we can't write this off. So why would we help, and that's the name of the game, and that's what I
Mm-hmm.
would tell myself is to, from day one, get your paperwork right. Luckily, nothing happened to Hoop Showdown, legal wise, but I wish I would have had my paperwork right from day one. Things probably would have been a little easier to start. But yeah, that's what I would tell myself.
Indeed. Final question: what's next in the future for Johnny Rodriguez and Hoop Showdown?
Multi cities, I mean, the cat's out the bag. I've planned, actually, just to rewind. When I was doing Unlimited, I actually did 2 Unlimited events in Miami and South Beach. So now I want to do that with the high school division, like maybe go down to Philly, because Philly is a huge basketball culture.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of basketball family in North Carolina with the team Felton AAU program. Actually, they're no longer AAU program, but I still have Coach Frederick Cannon, who was the director of Team Felton. Like that's like a close mentor of mine. So I would love to go to North Carolina as well. And then Atlanta is a huge basketball culture.
Yeah.
My boy Ja, he runs the ABL down there.
Shout outs to
So
Ja. We actually, I was actually down there, for the
yeah,
4th of July.
he's another close mentor of mine, and even Miami Pro. I would love to go down there. I know the guys down there as well. So that's what I would love to do in the future, is build the brand where I can take it on the road. Obviously not consecutively, but like maybe 1 month, we have 4 quarters in a year, so first quarter, maybe do Philly, second quarter, do North Carolina, like just multi-cities throughout the year.
Yeah, man. That's dope. Johnny, thank you for coming on to share your testimony. And I wish you and Hoop Showdown nothing but the best moving forward.
Appreciate you, Dave, man. Thanks, man. Good luck with everything, man. Like I've told you before, bro, I appreciate everything you've done for me and support. And I love your work ethic. Like there's nowhere that you yourself, if you wanted to go, you couldn't go. You know what I'm saying? And I've always told you that I love that about you, bro. If you have to walk to Philly, you will walk to Philly, So, and I really love that work ethic that you have and passion for basketball, man. It's
Mhm.
inspiring for real.
Yeah, man. No doubt. Well, everybody, this is episode 129 of Hoops Talk with Dave's joint. Shout out to my guy, Johnny Rodriguez, for coming on to share his story. For those who haven't seen this episode, go check this out on YouTube, Facebook, and IGTV. And definitely pull up to Watson next Saturday, July 31st. You're gonna see DJ Zookeeper on the ones and twos. You're gonna see 3 good games. Brooklyn Stompers, The Nation, Debo's All-Stars, and Road to Riches / B5 Elite. You know what I'm saying? And us, and also NJ Hoop Recruit, all things hoops and hype kills. Go support our brand. But yeah, definitely check out our episode with Johnny on our YouTube page and all our social media platforms. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace.